friends to my kitchen. Benvinti a mia cucina. What am I doing today? Today I'm making chocolate cinnamon rolls. Chocolate rolls. Actually, it's the same recipe for cinnamon rolls, the dough, but instead of the cinnamon, I'm going to use Nutella chocolate spread so we can put it in the middle. And I'm going to make it into little buns. So that's what I'm doing today. So I'm going to use my mixer to mix the dough, and then we go from there. I have here 2 cubes of butter, a quarter of a cup of sugar, 2 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 4 teaspoons of dry yeast, and then 4.5 cups of all-purpose flour. This is bread flour. This recipe recommends to use bread flour so it can stretch better, has more protein, so it kind of stretches and has a better texture. So I'm going to put my butter in my milk, and I'm going to put it in a microwave just to warm it up a little bit. My milk is cold, so you want your milk warm. So into my mixer, I'm going to add my dry yeast. And then I'm going to add my salt to my flour, and then the sugar. And then when my milk is warm, we're going to add to this. I'm going to mix that. I'm going to crack my eggs. I like to make things, plan things ahead. I've said this so many times here. When it comes Easter time, you know, we're all so busy. Okay, I put my sugar and my yeast in my mixer, and now I'm going to put the milk and the flour, and the butter. I'm ahead of myself. And I'm going to mix all this. I'm going to add my eggs, and I'm going to beat the butter and the eggs and the milk on slowly. And we just kind of want to mix all those eggs, everything together to bind. I know my yeast is good, but if you're not sure, you can let your yeast just sit on the milk with the butter and then let it sit for a little while, just to make sure that it's good. And once it starts foaming, you know it's good. I'm going to add all my flour, and then I'm going to switch from the pedal to my hook. So when it comes at Easter time, we're so busy prepping, or for lunch or for dinner. We always got so many things, you know, but our family still got to eat breakfast. So I always try to have something like this for that morning, where I can just throw it in the oven, and then we have breakfast with a cup of coffee. So anyway, so that's what my plan is, to have these for Easter morning. These are chocolate-filled cinnamon buns, but there's no cinnamon. I don't know why they call it cinnamon buns, but it's just chocolate buns. So I'm going to mix all this for about maybe 5 or 6 minutes on high. Okay, friends. My dough is all mixed. And you know, when the bowl is clean, it's done. And I put in this bowl, I spray it with some canola oil. And I'm gonna put this dough in here and let it rest for maybe about an hour, or until it doubles in size. I'm gonna put it in my oven so it'll speed up because I have the a setting for proofing bread, so he'll be faster. So I'm gonna put this in my oven so it'll be faster, and then I'll show you the next step. Okay friends, so now I'm gonna start the filling for my chocolate buns. In here I have 1/4 cup of hazelnut spread. And to that I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of, or a cube of soft butter. I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. Needs more chocolatey. I'm gonna mix all this. This is so good. Like I said, if you bake this in that morning, make the day before, keep it in your fridge. On Easter morning, you throw this in the oven and you will have a delicious breakfast. I have 1/4 cup of chocolate chips. And then I'm gonna throw all this in my microwave to let all these flavors to blend and those chocolate chips to melt. Maybe about a minute and then we'll check. Okay friends, it took me about 40 seconds. That's what it's done at 40 seconds, not a completely minute. And that's what you want. You want everything melted. I have here 1/2 cup of chopped walnuts. You can put any kind of nuts you want, or you can leave it out if you don't care. I like with the nuts. And then I'm gonna put a teaspoon of vanilla, just because it's gonna enhance that chocolate flavor. Okay, and then I'm gonna leave this aside, and then when my buns are ready, I have my filling ready. Okay friends, my dough is ready for my chocolate buns. As double, and I'm gonna pour into my counter, and now I'm gonna roll it just like we would do for cinnamon rolls. You want the same method. Flour my roll. And we want to do this in a rectangle. You don't want too thin, but you want it enough. So maybe about 1/4 inch. Okay, and here it is, my filling. I'm gonna put it in half of it. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold the other half over, and then we're gonna, it's a different way of shaping than a cinnamon roll. You could do like a cinnamon roll too. Don't have to do it this way. But I wanted to do something different, being that it's for Easter morning, that this would be a little bit nicer. Okay, I'm not going all the way to the end because we need to seal the edges. And this is a perfect because it's thick. So, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna bring this over. And we're gonna seal all the edges. Want all those edges sealed. Make sure there's enough flour. Pour some more flour over. And then I'm gonna roll this so kind of evens it up. And then now we're gonna cut it about, I'd say about 1.5 to 2 inches. We're gonna cut strips. And you can do this ahead of time and you can freeze it. And then the night before, just put it in a refrigerator. So let me put some flour here. I'm gonna cut it in half. Not all the way. We don't want all the way. We wanna leave that, and then we're gonna twist it. And then we make it into a little bun. I have my cookie sheets, my muffin tins already I sprayed. So we cut it in half. And then we twist it. And actually, I think that 1 inch is too big. I need to cut it in half. And here it is, my chocolate buns. Now I'm gonna cover them. This one didn't fill up. So I'm gonna cover them and let them rise here for about 30 minutes. And then we'll bake them. Okay friends, I'm making a glaze to put over my buns. All I did was 1/2 cup of sugar and then 1/2 cup of orange juice. If you don't want orange juice, you can add water. I add orange juice because I wanted a little bit of a citrus flavor to kind of cut the richness of the buns. And I'm just letting it come to a glaze. When it thickens it up, then it's done. So you just pour the sugar with the orange juice, and then once it becomes thick, a little bit thick, like a glaze, more syrup, then it's done. And then you just brush it over. Because this has all that chocolate, you don't want to add any extra filling or, usually when we do cinnamon rolls, we add the cream cheese filling, topping. You don't want with this because this is rich enough. So you just brush this glaze all over the little buns. I just took them out of the oven. You want to do when they're still hot. And they'll be done. They look beautiful. They smell so good. And be very careful. This has chocolate. That chocolate is very hot. I'm going to try to take them out because they're still very hot. Whew! That sugar and the chocolate. Here it is, friends. My chocolate buns with walnuts. Let's see. They are super hot. Whew. You got all those layers. The dough is very buttery. and so fluffy. Then you have that hazelnut spread and the walnuts. This is what you want on Easter morning before they get together with everybody else. Something simple and filling and easy. The other pan, I put it in a freezer, so I'm freezing them, and then once they're frozen, I put them in Ziploc bags and I hold them in the freezer until Easter morning. The day before Easter, I put them back in the muffin tins, and then I let it at room temperature to rise overnight, defrost and rise. And in the morning, you just throw it at 350 in the oven for 20 minutes. So good. Here it is, a different recipe. Kind of the same idea of cinnamon rolls, but a different spin. A little bit more rich with that chocolate and that chocolate spread hazelnut. Delicious. So you give it a try to this recipe. I will leave the recipe in the description so you can do exactly what I did. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Don't forget to click on the bell so you'll be notified when I put videos out. And give me a thumbs up. And please comment. Have you made any of this? Did you try to make it, and how did you like it? And until next time, happy Easter.